It's that time again. It's time for another Saturday night special where we talk about everything rockhounding related. I had a very interesting week this week. A lot of neat things happened, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you this evening. Before we get into that, I did get a couple of things in the mail, which I'm very happy to have. Let's look at a couple of these things. Look at that. Okay. So, Kyle, World of Rockhounds Kyle, a lot of you know who he is, was going to be throwing out these 6-inch wheels because they are worn very, very thin. Very thin. And he offered them to me. And now I am the proud owner of 4 different wheels. So we have a 600 grit, a 14,000 grit, and you can see we're like down into the fibers. Can we focus? We're down into the fibers on it. So these wheels need a little bit of love, which we'll be doing. You see, yeah, it's kind of getting down there. A 1200. So what was it? A 600, a 14,000, a 1200, and a unlabeled mystery wheel. So I do have something in mind for these. Some of you out there might know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm excited. Obviously, I will say this. I am not building a small car with these 4 wheels. I will be building something more lapidary related. So thank you for that, Kyle. That helps me out immensely, and yeah, it's great. And I will try to figure out what that mystery wheel is. As well, this past weekend, the mineral market happened in Seattle. Now, I've never been to a mineral market. This is I believe, the first year that it has happened since the passing of Bart Cannon, who was the organizer of it. Brittany has taken on the project, and I'm a fan of Bart Cannon and his book, Minerals of Washington. I like it, and she sent me a couple of stickers, which are very, very happy to have. Look at that. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. So I have those now, which makes me very happy. I did get a bunch of questions about these. Okay, so Zeolites. Let's talk about this. I want to do a facelift. I want to do maybe not a facelift. How would I say this? I want to remake the image of Zeolites. Now, Zeolites are really cool crystals. That's what they are. And I enjoy them. And I think other people could enjoy them. And here's a prime example of some anal seam that is on par, in my opinion. Let's turn up the light here. We turn this up. How about that? This is on par with any type of quartz crystal plate, right? Very cool. Very happy with these. People don't seem to get as excited, though, about zeolites as they might other crystals, but these are very cool. Pieces of anal seam. Pieces of stellarite. Very cool. Very, very cool. There's some larger pieces, such as this. I think, yeah, they just need a little bit more representation in the world of mineral collecting, and I intend on doing that with all of the videos about them because they are truly a fascinating group of minerals. I did get asked by a couple of people. Karen asked me, a couple of others as well, about how I cleaned them because they were quite filthy. So zeolites, these guys, they are very, generally speaking, they are very durable. So I always start with this guy right here. This is a denture brush. It's kind of like I don't know, it's somewhere in between a cleaning brush and like a toothbrush. It's like a big toothbrush, but I like this pokey end. And Warm water and soap is the starting go-to with these guys every time. And then I will often step up to, well, that's kind of a mess, isn't it? I will step up to this thing. I will step up to the ultrasonic cleaner. So in my case, I just use water with this. It does have a heater and a timer, and it looks dirtier on camera than it does in real life. But yeah, you turn it on and it pulses. Now, you don't want to just set your delicate crystals in the basket. You want to like suspend them. You want them to be inverted, like, you know, here's just a rock, right? But you want it to be like hanging up there, upside down, suspended with a string, so that all of the dirt and grime and gross bits will rain out. So suspending it with like a piece of fishing line, dental floss, something to that effect will get a lot of the fine stuff out. If it's a zeolite like these guys back here that have more durable crystal structure to them, and then you can't get the stuff out, this is a textile gun, so it's just like it's a lot like a water pick for, you know, cleaning your teeth, except more industrial. And I turn this thing way, way down because the textile gun is actually strong enough to just blast things apart. It can just straight up break things, and we don't want to be breaking any of the stuff that we brought home, you know. That is usually the go-to for cleaning these and kind of in order of operation. Gentle, more aggressive, very aggressive, and then you can repeat between these two, between the textile gun and the ultrasonic. A person brought up, forgive me, I can't remember who it was, I should have probably written this down, said that I misspoke and I said I said vesicular basalt. The zeolites are coming out of vesicular basalt, and they pointed out that it's actually amygdaloidal basalt when filled. And I'm like, that is a technically accurate statement, although difficult, because there is kind of this blending that happens. If you have a piece of basalt, lots of bubbles in it, and they are only partially filled, right? Only a couple are filled, or if they have a druzy coating in it, would you refer to that as still an amygdaloidal or a vesicular? What about a piece of basalt like this, right? This is obviously vesicular basalt. Some of the vesicles have nothing in them. Some have small amounts of things in them. Some have more. So I'm like, well, you know, vernacularly, is that a way to put it? I would call this vesicular basalt, or partially filled vesicular basalt, or I guess you could say partially amygdaloidal vesicular basalt. I try to be really accurate, but I'm like, well, yes, there are these textbook cases of stuff where you can be like 100% of the vesicles are filled and therefore it is amygdaloidal. But what about partials? What about the partials? I'm not really sure. I feel like I might need to find somebody more wise and informed on such a subject than myself. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. That's not actually something I've really thought much about up until that comment, so I do appreciate that. I will try to be more accurate in the future. So on to the meat of this evening's subject. A little bit of a hard one for me. This has been a very stressful week. Very stressful. If we went to the Mount Hood Rock Club show, it was a great show. I enjoyed it. I like the Mount Hood Rock Club. Good cases. Everything was good all the way around. There was, however, a vendor there that I commented on at the end of that video, being like, well, you know, it was pretty good, but there was somebody there that was very obviously an illegal miner selling things they shouldn't be selling, and I don't like it. Boy, oh boy, did people get very upset with me. This has been Wow, I can't believe it. Okay, so some of the stuff that has happened this week because of my statement that illegal mining is wrong, I had people go through the comments here, calling me names, leaving mean messages, saying that I'm a hall monitor, saying that I should get a badge so I can go around and needlessly harass people at rock shows. What else? What else? These things are kind of sliding off here, aren't they? I've had multiple emails, or nasty emails from people, long email chains with people, a couple of long phone calls, and what else? Oh yeah, somebody threatened to copyright strike the video, that's like a flagrant violation. That's an abuse of the copyright system, to try to take this down. And, you know, they could have just left it like, oh, that's Jared's statement at the end of this video, and, you know, it would have all kind of gone away. But it's really blown up into something big, and I find it interesting that nobody is arguing any of the points that I made. Nobody is saying that they're factually incorrect, just that they don't like that I said them. So they are, rather than being like, hey, the people over here doing the illegal mining are the ones in the wrong and we'll take care of it. No, let's go after Jared for pointing it out. They're really trying to shoot the messenger here, which is very telling of where they stand on the subject. I thought, though, we could maybe have a little more nuanced conversation this evening about the subject of illegal mining, what it is not, and why it is wrong, okay? Illegal mining is going out to public land, and when I say public land, I mean unclaimed, there's no mineral claims, public land, Bureau of Land Management, DNR, National Forests, stuff like that, places where you are legally allowed to go out and pick up rocks and take them home. Every website, every agency, every land manager has the same rules in place, and they all state something to the effect that you can do that. You can go pick up rocks from public land and bring them back to your house for personal use, non-commercial purposes, not for sale or barter with commercial dealers. They have their own kind of legalese version of that. Well, why? Why do they state that? They state it so that a person does not attach dollar values to these rocks. Because when you attach a dollar value to a rock and make it part of a business model that you have, which is going out, collecting above and beyond, that's what you do. Like, nobody is going out, well, maybe some people are. The most blatant and flagrant abusers of the system are going out to areas, collecting hundreds or even thousands of pounds of material without ever filing a mineral claim, without ever having to do reclamation of the site, solely so they can then sell that material. If you are a casual rockhound like myself, if you are a mineral claim owner, if you care about the future of rockhounding, you should have a problem with people doing that. Plain and simple, right? If you go to a rock show and you sell Hampton Butte petrified wood collected on public land for profit and you sell out, now you're like, oh, we got to go back and collect more before the next show, right? It's your business. You have to do that. When people start to over-collect illegally for commercial purposes and go way beyond the limits imposed, you now get people feeling entitled, like they own the spot when they actually don't. You get an over-collection. Let's use another example. Let's make an analogy here, right? Let's say there's a lake that you can go and fish on, and your limit is 3 fish per person. And you have 100 people abiding by the 3 fish per person limit. And one person comes out with a boat with 5 of their friends, and each one of them catches 20 fish every single day for 2 months. The season. Let's do the whole season. They just continuously are out there. And the reason they're continuously out there is not because they enjoy it, not because they want to go cook a fish over a campfire and have a little bit to bring home. They're doing it because they sell them. They sell them. So the 100 people following the rules are now being deprived of the activity, the fish, whatever, because one people or a group of 5 people are breaking the rules. So either there should be no rules or everybody should have to follow the rules. I didn't really think that that was a controversial opinion. If you do find that to be controversial, well, maybe that, in my opinion, if somebody's like, oh, Jared, you and your wanting us to follow the rules the same as you do and everybody else should be, makes you a horrible person, well, maybe that's telling of their opinions and what they like to do with their own free time, which is probably, well, illegally mining. I didn't think it was such a controversial subject to have an opinion on. But I guess it is. I guess it is. Let me know down below. What do you think? I'm in the camp of I'm perfectly okay with a lot of these limits. The limit numbers are quite high for personal use. And anybody that is out there, including the people that have sent me so many nasty emails this week, if you would kindly like to have a debate on this subject, I would happily debate you, and we can have it be a moderated debate, an unmoderated debate. We can do it over Zoom. I will bend over backwards to make that happen. So, I think I am in the right here when I say that if you want to collect rocks and sell those rocks, you should file a mineral claim and you should follow the rules the same way everybody else has to, as opposed to just breaking them. One last comment on that. The people that I did mention at the end of that video, one of them reached out and said that they were actually on private property. So any way we spin it, they were either collecting this material that they were selling on private property and lying and saying that it was coming from the public space, at which point they're lying about doing something illegal to try to mask that it's coming from somewhere private, or they are actually collecting it from the public place and selling it illegally and lying after the fact and saying it was private. So any way you spin it, they're either doing something illegal or they were lying about doing something illegal to protect what they were legally doing. Any way you spin it, it's very, very dumb. And the problem should be with them, not with me, not with this guy. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I learn a lot from you guys. I appreciate you very much. I want everybody to get along and, see this hobby progress and be something that continues on into the future. And one of the ways that I believe we do that is by pointing out the bad behavior, like people illegally mining, over collecting those fish, those rocks, and not supporting them financially, not supporting them financially, pointing it out when it happens, and give people a means of changing their ways, and we can all be happy and we can all play nice. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate you. Next week will be really, really good as far as the videos go. And we will put a pin in this one and we'll leave it here. Thank you.